All right, next up we have the Nordic Corvette. This brake was one of the brakes that we saw on the table, and really didn't anticipate a lot of performance that I didn't know. I had never seen it before, to be honest, and we put it on the rifle, which required us actually scarring it up by using an Allen, which, Nordic, if you're watching this, you may put some flats here on the side so we can actually get a crescent wrench on it, because installing a new compensator, the last thing you want to do is ding up the sides, which with this brake actually made it look a little better. However, this brake performed astoundingly well. I have to say that this brake was, next to the huge Benny Cooley brake, this brake was absolutely fantastic. The muzzle climb was minimal. The noise increase was on par for a brake, but the muzzle climb and the recoil control was just absolutely fantastic.
The important thing to understand, though, going along with the fact that this was one of the most effective muzzle devices for controlling recoil and muzzle rise, going along with that was that it was probably the worst when it came to nighttime signature. We experienced a tremendous amount of muzzle flash when it came to the Nordic Corvette, far more so than anything else, and way more than even a bare muzzle. The side concussion was pretty substantial, and that led to a pretty decent amount of discomfort when it came to shooting it off the ground, whether it be prone or rollover prone. This isn't something that you're going to be wanting to shoot from a position like that, but then again, that's not really what this was designed for.
Next up, we have the Novus KX3, also known as the Pig or the Flaming Pig. Um, it's important to note this device was originally intended to be mounted on SBRs, not on the weapon we mounted it on. We stuck with the standard 16-inch barrel that we did for every other muzzle device that we tested, just to keep things on par. It'd be invalid if we put this on a 10.5-inch barrel. So it's important to note that in the testing. However, this was great for muzzle climb recoil control. The initial blast baffle absorbs a lot of the muzzle climb and stuff, but a lot of it has to do with the weight as well. So it pushes all the debris, all the noise, all the stuff forward. So concussion to your partners or whatever is minimal. And it does what it's designed to do well. I've had the opportunity to shoot this on several different SBRs, and this is an outstanding device for those weapons. And like I said, it was designed for that. It does that job very, very well.
Absolutely. Looking at shooting this off the ground, whether it's prone, rollover prone, or even inside, like Steve mentioned, amongst teammates in enclosed spaces, whether it might be a house, some type of building, or even in and around vehicles, the KX3 is an incredibly comfortable muzzle device to shoot from those types of positions or in those areas. In our testing specifically, when I was running this off the ground, prone, rollover prone. Very, very comfortable. It's quiet. It directs a lot of that blast forward, as quiet as an unsuppressed gun can be. And also the debris doesn't push hardly any debris back towards the shooter. Almost all of it goes forward. It's really, really great to handle in that regard. Looking, however, at the muzzle flash, it's important to understand that we all understand where the KX3 got its nickname, the Flaming Pig. And the reason is that it's designed, as Steve mentioned, to be mounted on SBRs. So that's where you're going to get a lot of that increased and enhanced, nighttime muzzle signature. So when we looked at it on a 16-inch gun, however, we didn't get that at all. As a matter of fact, the KX3 was one of the best performers when it came to a reduced nighttime signature, which actually was pretty impressive for us, to say the least. We didn't expect that at all. But when this was mounted on the gun that we were running, a 16-inch carbine-length gas system, we didn't experience very much nighttime muzzle signature at all.
Next up, we have the Shira Firebreak. This is a 2-port design on the sides here. We have 2 ports in the top. This is purely a brake, and It does what it's intended to do very, very well. It reduces muzzle climb. It also has the ability to mount a suppressor to it, which is a great bonus, because if you're worried about the noise that this device puts off, which it does put off a lot, you can slide your suppressor over there. So this is a good device. This is something that's comparable to like an SJC Titan. Maybe not as quite as good on muzzle climb or recoil control, but very, very close. And we found that this is a very, very comfortable device to shoot from the standing positions and doing things like that.
When we looked at this in terms of nighttime signature, we were actually pretty surprised. We anticipated this to have a tremendously enhanced nighttime signature. What we found, it was pretty much on par with most of the other brakes or even compensators that we had shot. It didn't really seem to give off too much muzzle flash, but it definitely, there's no way you could mistake it for a flash hider either. Now, when I ran this off the ground, one thing's for certain: when you pull the trigger, you're gonna know that it went off. It does have a lot of side concussion, but that is because it's got two big dual port brakes on the side. So you are going to receive a lot of concussion. It's going to kick up a lot of dirt and debris. Running it from the prone rollover prone position that I was during the testing, definitely not the most comfortable out there to shoot, but it is very effective in doing its job, which is controlling recoil and muzzle rise, as well as being very easily matched with the Shira Fire sound suppressors. We hope you guys enjoyed watching this comparison. We really did our best to try to put together a really diverse group of muzzle devices and really compare them in a very apples to apples type format. Now, we understand though that the group of muzzle devices that we have in front of us here, all 16 of them, definitely do not represent the full gamut of muzzle devices that are out there on the market. So if you're watching this video, if you're a viewer and you have a muzzle device in mind that you'd like to see us test in another edition of a test of this format, be sure to go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Additionally, if you're an industry representative and you'd like to see your muzzle device represented in another test such as this, be sure to go ahead and contact us over at 21st Century Gunfighter. You can get in touch with us at 21cg.us.
You know, one thing we tried to do when doing this test was to make sure that we had, you know, a representative from each group. So we have some compensators, we have some brakes, and we have some flash hiders. And we have a couple of hybrid mixes in there, some specialty devices and stuff. And so one thing I want to make sure that people understand is wasn't something we went through and said, well, let's pick our favorites or the ones that we think are the best. We just took what we had at the time and made the best with what it is. And we knew that we weren't going to cover everything, but we knew we were going to make more videos. So we want you guys to stay tuned. We want your feedback. And we also want to make sure that if you have any devices that you would like us to test, or if you have something specifically in mind, that you contact Steven over 21st Century Gunfighter. You can also contact me directly at stevearian@usshootingacademy.com. Like I said, we are open-minded when it comes to doing the test on these things, and we want to make sure that by doing these, we can show purely an objective standpoint as far as recoil control, flash at night, you know, muzzle climb, side signature, all of those things.
Absolutely. This video series, not just this video, but every video that we do subsequently that relates back to this original concept, is our whole goal here was really to kind of make the shopping process, decision-making process for the end user a whole lot easier. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation out there. There's a lot of comparisons out there that are done by separate parties, and it's really difficult to get a real clear-cut answer because all the information is coming from one source being compared to another source. So it doesn't really do the user any justice when looking at, you know, two different comparisons that were done by two different people. This whole system, as Steve mentioned earlier, was designed to put everything on a level playing field and make it easier for you guys to decide. I hope you guys like watching this video. Be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and until next week, stay Gunfighter strong.